Hi, I'm John Harris of Politico. Time to turn the tables now with Christiane Amanpour, host of ABC's This Week. Christiane, a new poll out by Pew suggests that nearly a third of Republicans believe that President Obama may be a Muslim. This is a long-standing belief, not true, but persists. Why?
Well, clearly a lot of it, according to the polls, seems to be due to media and all the coverage that's been going on. Certainly, it's gone up since what people thought when he was inaugurated. This has been rather a persistent belief because of a lot of what's been said, a lot of falsehoods that have been perpetrated in some corners of the blogosphere and on the internet. So this is obviously what's happening, and it's the White House has had to come out and once again assert that in fact he's not. He's a Christian who's a practicing Christian, as they've taken pains to say today. But I think more than just that, and it's not just a third of Republicans. The poll says something in the region of nearly 20% of all Americans, and that has gone up since, as I say, since the inauguration. But what it really says is that when people are unhappy about whatever it might be, they probably throw epithets around, and what seems to be rather, difficult for a country such as this of tolerance to sort of digest is that perhaps now one of the worst things you can throw around is you're a Muslim. So I think it speaks not just to what people think about the president, but also what people feel about this religious white-hot debate or dispute that's going on right now. And interestingly, according to that poll, some 60% of the people who think that about President Obama, think that false notion about him, say that they get their information from the media. So again, it goes to the responsibility of the media, what the media is putting about.
Christiane, your background as a foreign correspondent, give us some insight into how the mosque controversy near Ground Zero is playing internationally. What do people in other countries, what do they make of this bitter debate going on in the United States right now?
Well, it's certainly being played in many of the countries in the Middle East, around in North Africa, Indonesia, many places which are Muslim. However, what's happening is that they're looking at really closely, and many people are worried about how it's going to play out. They were looking at to see whether, in fact, in the end, what America is known for, and that is tolerance, religious freedom, obviously, but tolerance and a lack of prejudice, whether that is going to win the day or not, because this is obviously still a white-hot debate here in the United States, and people around the world, especially in those Muslim countries, especially after President Obama went to Cairo in his first year in office, made that first 6 months in office, and made that extraordinary speech to the Islamic world, wondering how this is going to play out. But more than just looking at it as a debate, really wondering what it means for America's relationship with Islam, either abroad or in the United States, and also picking up quite a lot of the fallout here in the US, which is that it's not just about this mosque here, or rather the Islamic Center with a mosque near Ground Zero, but it's also about prayer facilities and other such Islamic community centers and mosques in other parts of the United States, and looking very closely to see how it's all being whipped up, if you like. Clearly, there are very strong feelings on all sides about this, and of course the families of 9/11 have a huge amount to feel about this. But they're looking to see how this is playing out around the country. And if you remember, right after 9/11, right here in this country, so many Muslims in this country, whether they were taxi drivers or whoever, specifically in New York, were carrying, American flags in their cars, were, saying, "I'm a patriot." There were all these stickers because they were afraid of the backlash. And what's really extraordinary is the last nationwide, real poll done of American Muslims shows that the vast majority consider themselves moderate, consider themselves assimilated, in many instances have a higher socioeconomic level than many other people in this country. So, the reality about Muslims in this country is slightly different to what's being played out in some of the heated debate.
Right. Christiane, tell us about your show Sunday.
Well, we're going to talk about this, obviously. We have an exclusive interview with Daisy Khan, who is the wife of Imam Faisal Rav, who's the organizer behind the Park 51 project. We're going to be talking to Rabbi Joy Levitt from the JCC, the Jewish Community Center in New York, because this was meant to be something that, obviously was designed to turn out much differently than it has. It was meant to be modeled on a community center basis, a community center ethos, and also because you know that there are mosques in that region. There are at least 2 mosques, either one is 4 blocks, one is 12 blocks away from Ground Zero, but they apparently now can't cope with the huge population of Muslims. There's something like 600,000 to 700,000 Muslims in New York, and that's one of the reasons why this one was being planned.
Christiane, thank you very much. We'll be watching.